Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. Holy crap. The world's falling apart. Hang in there. I do have an announcement to make tonight. It is Monday, what is it, 16th? I think, 16th, 17th. Tonight, Monday, at midnight, Pacific time, we are ending the giveaway, the Veritasium token giveaway with every private road new membership or renewal. If you don't know what Veri is and you're into cryptos, you will know what Veri is very soon. Very soon. Reggie's case goes to, I think, the final decision or something. Potentially. Obviously, we've seen so many cans kicked down the road in the Veritasium Reggie Middleton saga. But it looks like we may get some resolution the end of this month. So yeah, expect volatility in the Veri token if you are lucky enough to have one. It's like a lottery ticket. Most likely it won't pay off, but when it does, odds have gotten about 1,000 times better since they granted Reggie a whole bunch of patents on DeFi in the crypto world. So yeah, if you are involved in cryptocurrency, any of them really, you need to understand what's going on with the Reggie Middleton patents and the potential for a monkey wrench to be thrown into cryptos, and the potential for you to profit off it, I guess. I mean, everybody who missed the Bitcoin jump from $30 to $100,000, you might want to look into what's going on with Veri, because it's trading right around $30. Anyway, also, I do declare I will be discussing life with Andy Schechtman of Miles Franklin today. Lots to go over on Silver World, what's going on geopolitically, what's going on with the physical metal retail side versus the industrial side. It's like it's night and day, literally night and day, where the retail buyers are barely scratching the surface. The industrial buyers, which is the most important market when it comes to physical silver, are absolutely loading up the boat. And there is literally a plan, and it's being executed to keep the retail buyers out, so that mainly the manufacturers can get as much physical silver in their hands before this shit falls apart. Falling apart meaning silver goes from $50 to $500, that type of thing. The world changes then, so get ready. And for you private road members, yesterday I posted a discussion on what the Silver Institute is doing with their outrageous lies on how much silver is being used in solar. According to the Silver Institute, there's only a 1.5% growth in the last 2 years in silver used in solar panels, and yet the Globe says there's a 36% rise in the installations of solar panels. Now, they can try to make a couple arguments. I can shoot down every argument they have. They meaning the Silver Institute, which is two guys basically there, and Metals Focus, which I show right here, change all their historical numbers just to hide the fact that solar is going through the roof. The use of silver is going through the roof, and they don't want you to know that, because they don't want you to know that there's, the deficit, silver deficit's not 140 million ounces. It's more like 340 million ounces every year. And that wouldn't go over well with the banking cabal that's short silver. So there you have it. All right, let's get on to what's going on with silver today. Kind of holding steady around $36, $37, holding above that $36 level. All you tech traders out there, it means nothing. We know that for the last 50 years, since the invention of derivatives and computer trading, high-frequency trading, things like that, they can set the price wherever they want. Price really doesn't matter to them. What matters is control. And they can set the price at minus $40 like they did with silver. I mean, they did with oil. We all saw it. And they can set up any excuse they want with the oil excuse. Oh, we just can't store all this oil at such cheap prices and blah, 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 blah. It's bullshit. It's a derivative market, traded futures and options. That's the price is determined on the derivative market, which is insane if you ask me. But that's the world we live in. That's the world they control. That's where this whole monetary system control came from. And it started with the computer programs written by Alan Greenspan in the late 60s, early 70s. and implemented because his mentor and buddy with Arthur Burns, the head of the Fed. Control that system until you can't. Print as much money as you can until it blows up. Infinity money is what I had been saying, and it looks like Elon Musk found that infinity money in 14 computers. The word is getting out that, it's somewhere around $28 trillion that they printed from those 14 computers. That number has not been announced yet. That's why Elon left. He knows he's got to get his ducks in a row for his companies, because when the world understands that every country on the planet is printing infinity money, all of a sudden it gets a little squirrely. The bankers have to have a war, obviously. That's why this war is starting up. The knowledge of unbacked fiat money, printed money that they lie about. You don't think your government lies? Of course they do. We've seen it a zillion times. You don't think our enemies' governments lie? Of course they do. Because that's part of the war. Part of the war, wars are fought in 3 areas. Militarily, we know about. Monetarily, you should know about. And then cyberly. We're into cyber wars like you wouldn't believe. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm only able to post maybe one time a week during that little window that the internet is available as the shit falls down. So, get ready for it. You should be ready with your investments in your own hands. If you don't control your investments, kiss them goodbye, in my opinion. Buy your silver. Contact Andy Scheckman, 952-929-7006. Don't buy offline. Call them up and say, hey, Bix from Road to Root sent me, said you can get me better prices than what you see online. Do it. All right. What's going on with silver? Same old shit. We are above the moving averages, holding steady above some kind of a technical support level. Who knows? I think $50, when it breaks 50 and holds on 50, that's when we see unknownville. And that's when banks start to collapse. I think they're collapsing already, but we'll find out, right? It might be all at once. They all fall down. Pull that Band-Aid. Boom. I'll be talking to Andy about that later today. But here we are. These are the moving averages, 100 and 200-day moving averages, well above the moving averages. The bankers down here found out, holy shit, India's buying anytime I drop it below the moving averages. That's what they do. And India has figured out that they figured that out. So India has begun, as of May, which they just released today, in a weird format. I mean, the whole formatting of their thing is off. But I found it. It's right here. 566 million ounces were imported of silver, which is 17.5, I think, based on the price of the average price in May. So 17.5 million. And it might not sound like a big number, but for a number that there was no price slam, we're talking right in here. This is May. Price was flat in May. That is unheard of for India to buy 17 million ounces of silver, to import 17 million ounces of silver when the price is steady. Historically, every time they slam the price below the moving averages, India has been loading up on 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 million ounces in a single month. And year after year, they're importing 300 million ounces. And you might ask yourself, how is that even possible? If all this silver is going to China for all the electronics and solar panels and everything else that they manufacture, and supposedly there's all these other things that suck up the supply of physical silver, how does India import 300 million ounces of physical silver, which is almost half of what comes out of the ground? We pull out 820 or so million ounces. And 300 million ounces goes to India? What is wrong with that picture? Well, that's happening now. Gold is too expensive. Oh, by the way, I did an analysis of the Comex gold, and the ratio Comex gold to, as far as physical deliveries versus Comex silver, that ratio is 8-1. Not the 100-1 or 95-1 gold silver ratio that we see As a matter of fact, here it is. The gold-silver ratio is up at 95 to 1, right up here. Way up here. And look at historically. This is since 1995. Wow. You should, I mean, if you have gold, you're crazy. If you have gold and love gold, swap all your gold for silver, and it gets to where the ratio should be, below 10 to 1 by far. Swap back. And all of a sudden you have 9 times the amount of gold. If you have 100 ounces of gold, you have 900 ounces of gold when you swap back. Back in 2011, that's when we saw $50 silver from the JP Morgan rig job. Yes, JP Morgan put in Bill Daley as Obama's chief of staff to control the silver price because they had a silver short inherited from Bear Stearns, all that stuff. We all know that stuff. If you've been on the road to Ruta long enough, you know what that is. It went down to 32 to 1. Back in 1980, at the other time silver hit $50, it was 8 to 1. 8 ounces of silver bought you 1 ounce of gold. This time, when we pass 50, I think it'll be 3 to 1. And then at some point, it'll go to the natural ratio for today, for modern day electronics, because we literally consume silver. It will be 1 to 1 or probably even 1 to 10. I can give you 100 reasons why. And you can't give me any reasons why not other than, well, it's never been there. That's because it's been rigged. 180 years of price rigging does not end pretty. What is more valuable, gold or silver, is what you'll be asking yourself. Oh, by the way, all you crypto lovers who are poo-pooing on gold and silver, without silver, cryptos don't work. You need silver in those computers, the components of all those computers, for it to work. So you don't really need gold. And the bankers have all the gold, so why would you even care about gold? It is really interesting to me to see people think about gold solely as the monetary metal, because the bankers want you to. They have conditioned you into that. And because the price has risen, what, 400 times, 400x, 4x, 400% since the 1980 all-time high? Yeah. Why? Because the bankers wanted to. They got the computers. They got the derivatives. Click a mouse. Boom. When the bankers are taken out, where do they go? Who knows? Who knows where the price of gold will go? I think it might double, maybe, as the system falls apart. But remember who's going to be selling the gold? Those same bankers that brought it up. So, yeah. Same with Bitcoin, by the way. All these bankers getting into Bitcoin, you don't want that. You don't want bankers into Bitcoin when they're about to collapse. Because what are they required to sell by law? Their most liquid assets. That would be gold and Bitcoin and cash equivalents and stuff like that. I know, it hasn't happened yet. Preaching to the choir, preaching to the congregation, whatever it is. It's crazy. But it's true. And then when they find out there's probably 10 to 20 times more gold in the world than they say there is, that's another deal. That's when we get to 1 to 10 ratio, 1 ounce of silver gets you 10 ounces of gold. Not because gold is less valuable in dollar terms. But an actual physical availability, yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. The physical availability of gold versus silver. I mean, even the mainstream says it's a 1 to 1 ratio above ground that is left. Of course, silver they've mined 60 billion ounces of silver, sure. And we've also consumed 54 billion ounces of silver, which leaves us with 6 billion ounces. How much gold is there in the world? I think there's 7 billion ounces now, the official number. I think it's more like 70 billion ounces. But I guess we'll find out soon enough, right? Again, there's the India numbers. May was up 589% from last year. Now, that's a little skewed because you never know what happened last year during, like when the price of silver goes up, they don't import silver. When the price of silver goes down, they import it. They're like smart investors. They should be smart investors. India and China are the biggest importers of gold and silver, by far. Because it's money to them. It's dowry. It's they buy the jewelry not because they want to look good at a party. That's what they pass down to their kids because their banking system sucks, just like ours. All right. Looking at what's happening on the day-to-day on the Comex, we have still every day big deliveries. This is the largest. Now, this is the commercial side. We know all about the retail buyers not doing anything. Mainly, one of the reasons in the United States is because the U.S. Mint won't print any more silver eagles. They're at 7.7 million ounces halfway through the year when they can do 50 million ounces. They refuse to do it. They changed the website so that they have no historical data. The U.S. Mint has been destroyed. First by the Biden administration and now by the Trump administration. Yes, I'm talking about the Trump administration. Who's the director of the Mint? Nobody knows. There's a temporary director, a woman who's been there forever, who's an accountant. That's right. Trump, we're going to have a gold standard, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't have a director of the Mint. Who's the director? Who's the Treasury Secretary? George Soros' right-hand man, Bissett. What in the hell is going on? It's all show, my friends. Just get your physical. You're not going to be able to predict what's going to happen. Get your physical silver, get it in your own possession, and watch the show. Get your cryptos, the good ones, get them in your own possession, and watch the show. And that's what I'm doing. Right now, where it stands is about 475 million ounces ready to be delivered for the July contract. Will that get whittled down in the rollover? Jeffrey Christian, that's his normal rollover. That slams the price down. It's not normal. It's price rigging, and it's them kicking the can down the line. And it's all about timing, when they time their rollovers. A rollover means I've got a short. I'm going to move my short to the next month. So I buy my short back, and I go short in the future, offsetting whatever bullshit I was doing before. 99% of these trades are the banks trading back and forth to each other. Price doesn't matter. Gold-silver ratio does matter. So keep an eye on the gold-silver ratio. But we are seeing on the Comex, here it is. This is the largest delivery year ever in the history of the Comex. That's right. We have complete dead silence on the retail side. And we have the largest commercial. This is the big money, the big volumes of silver. The biggest was February. March. Over 80 million ounces. 70, well, if you count you got to count the micro ounces too. So 82 and then 80 and just about 80, 78 last month, May. And then July is a delivery month. I mean, this number right here, non-delivery months, we're already at 15 million ounces just halfway through June, and it keeps going. We're going to do 20 million ounces, maybe 25 million ounces just in June of deliveries, which is unheard of. And then you got July. Will we do 100 million ounces? Well, India's doing their hundreds of millions of ounces. This is all falling apart. And guys like Jeffrey Christian and Metals Focus will tell you, no, there's no supply-demand deficit. There's so much silver you don't have to worry about it. Well, fine. Believe that if you want to. Believe in their con. They'll be gone as soon as the system falls apart. They'll be gone. You won't hear from Jeffrey Christian. You won't hear from Metals Focus. They won't be explaining why silver went from $50 to $500 in a blink of an eye. They'll make up some stupid excuse. It's the speculators. Bullshit. Silver never should have been at $35. It never should have been here. It should have been freely traded from 1980. It should have been freely traded from the 1850s, the Opium Wars. It hasn't been freely traded. That's why price of silver is going to go from $50 to $500 to $5,000. Who knows what the dollar will be worth? But that's what's happening right now. And you get to live through it if you get your physical silver in your own possession. If you don't, you're gambling. I'm not a gambler. I like to get assets in my own possession because I don't trust that JP Morgan Chase will be around. I don't trust that any of these depositories will be around. Especially if people say, "Oh, Bix, you got to keep your metal in an offshore account in Switzerland." You don't think the Swiss people are going to like attack every vault in their country when the banking system falls apart? Of course they will. You don't think Mexico is going to shut off their mining sector to any foreigners? Of course they will. They're going to build that wall because everybody's going to want to run to Mexico because Mexico is going to be the richest country in the world at $5,000 silver. Trump, you don't have to go, kick everybody out of the country. You want everybody out of the country, let silver go to $5,000 an ounce. They'll run back to Mexico. Run. I know they're not all Mexican that came in. Biden imported all kinds of people. We'll be talking about that with Andy. So yeah, this isn't rocket science. Trump, he lies to us on the financial side, and I don't like that. But I know why he does it. You don't want the system to fall apart before you get the bad guys. But hell, you've had how many? 4.5 years to get the bad guys? You've gotten a lot of them. I love you to death for that. But there's the obvious ones. Maybe you got them, and maybe you're just not telling people. The Clintons, the Bushes, the Obamas, who knows? They could be in custody. People seem to say that a lot. We don't know. What does it help us if it's the psychology of, are we being treated fairly according to the Constitution? God knows market rigging does not create freedom. We are in the most vulnerable financial spot in our history because of market rigging, because of what Trump is doing, because of what Biden did, because of what Obama did, because of what every single president did. Going back to at least to when Alan Greenspan made those first computer programs in the 1970s. That's what Root A is. It's a computer programming term. Road to Root A is the gold-backed system of the whole thing. And it will go back to that because it doesn't take any deciders. There's no GESRA, no NESRA, no XRP, quantum financial system. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I can't believe people fell for that. Charlie Ward? Are you kidding me? It just happens time and time again, but because people want a solution to the problem, and they don't understand that there will be no people will be deciding the solution. The only solution is what we already have on the books: gold and silver are money in the United States of America. Doesn't mean you can't use cryptos. I mean, in a free country, of course you can use cryptos. Do it. But the money in the United States, we don't have to decide on. It's already been decided. When the shit falls apart, we don't even need Congress. It's already decided. It's already constitutional. And the rest of the world can decide what they want to do. I've said it a million times. When the banksters fall apart, there'll be no more wars. People will bring all our troops home and put them on our own borders. I mean, these wars we're this close to bringing out into World War III, which is the end of all wars. You really want that? Demand that we get free markets because that's what will solve this problem. And take the deep state out. Arrest the criminals. I don't know why. Arrest Bissett. He's sitting right next to you, Trump. Soros' right-hand man, the guy who funded all these people who were against you. You hired his right-hand man. This is so crazy. It is a crazy world we live in. But it is what it is. Very interesting. On the physical silver side for industrial, LBMA supposedly does the most. These are millions of ounces transferred daily, every day. It is just exploding higher. Since in the last 6 months, it's gone from 200 million ounces to 343 million ounces. In the next couple of months, it will double. This is every day, supposedly, on the LBMA. And what they say on the LBMA, these are net numbers, meaning the real number's 3 to 5 times higher than this. Where in the world is there 1.5 billion ounces of physical silver that can be traded every day? Everybody knows it's a joke. It's a lie. But we live in a lie. Take delivery. If you're on the Comex or the LBMA and you're buying physical, having it transferred to you, take delivery of 1.5 billion ounces every day. See what happens. This is insane. Back to the U.S. Mint. They screwed up their website massively with their website redesign. It's ridiculous. They don't even have historical numbers of eagles anymore. The U.S. Mint should be investigated, and the people who screwed it up should be put in jail. And if you want to know who did it, go to roadtoroota.com. go to the public road page. I have a 3-part interview with the head of Silver Eagle Sales who tells us who did it. And there you go. Go arrest them. I know, it's crazy. But look what the U.S. Mint is selling Silver Eagles for 3 times the price of silver on the uncirculated side. That is gouging, price gouging at the U.S. Mint. But they can't make a regular Silver Eagle, which they are required to sell at cost, by the way, at cost. But they want to sell you a expertly polished in a box Silver Eagle uncirculated for $90. That's criminal. And it's gouging the American people. Oh, get your graduate a proof set for $150. You get $30 worth of silver and $150. This is just the U.S. Mint has been sadly destroyed, and it's what we need for the future. We need to bring back integrity into the mint. I think 3 is a charm for David Ryder, the 2-time mint director who tried to get us to go back on gold and silver standard. He did his best. He was ready. He had his technology from Honeywell, the scanners. You can scan a silver coin, and no silver coin is alike. Not one. On a molecular level, on a crystalline level. And that's what Honeywell invented. Well, David Ryder's company invented it, and he ran the program at Honeywell. He was ready to go for the U.S. Mint. Even put the notch in the side of the Silver Eagle so that you can position it so when you scan it, you get the same scan as when it left the mint. And all you got to do is attach a blockchain to that, and you can walk around buying and selling with your silver, your own physical silver, your ounces of silver on your wallet, on your smartphone. It wasn't easy 10 years ago. It's easy now. The world has changed. It's going digital. And we can do it with the physical backing of the real thing. So whoever, like a bank, although it won't be a bank, probably the U.S. government, a mint, probably at the post office, because the banks will be gone. And the post office is pretty much set up to do transactions in money. All they need is a scanner and a vault to hold your silver and gold eagles. And you can go buy a piece of candy with a little portion of it via the blockchain. It's not that hard, and that's what they had in mind. And then the Biden administration put in this person, Ventures Gibson, to destroy the U.S. Mint. Bravo, Ventures. You fixed the HR department. Of course, she wasn't the one masterminding it. It was the deep state behind her. But that's what happened. And now we have a mint that's the shit mint. I wouldn't be surprised if we go third. We already do less 1-ounce national coins than the freaking Canadian mint. Canadian mint is the number 1 mint now. U.S. Mint was the number 1 mint forever. And then Ventures Gibson gets in and says, I don't want to make Silver Eagles. She goes to the head of Silver Eagle Sales, Jack Sermon. Don't make any more Silver Eagles. Are you kidding me? That's so against the law. It's ridiculous. Why wasn't she put in jail? And of course, she didn't, instigate this. It was the deep state that ran our country for the last 4 years. And Biden, Trump, what are you doing? You can put somebody in the mint who knows what they're doing and fix the problem. You're letting the financial side of the United States go to the shitter. And yeah, maybe that's the idea because it's so bad anyway. Somebody's got to pull the plug. But dude, don't do it to the mint. The mint's our only hope in the future because when it falls apart, there'll be no Treasury Secretary. There'll be no Congress. We will have a constitution still, and it says gold and silver are money. Make it at the mint. Everybody will walk in. Hey, I got a bunch of gold jewelry. Can you melt it down and make me a coin? Free coinage, absolutely. That's what a true free country is like. Anyway, again, for everybody who wants to get a one Very token, go to roadtoroot.com, click on subscribe today. We're giving away one Very token already loaded on paper wallet. You don't have to know about cryptos. It is sent to your front door via the postman. And just stick it in your vault with your silver and stack them. So today's the last day we're giving those away with new subscription or renewal at roadtoroot.com. It's Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.